I'm here with the brewery's take on the Rueuze style lambic beer. This one is a little bit old. It's almost 2 years old. It was bottled October 27th, 2015. Says it on there somewhere. And yeah, so this is a blend of young and old sour blonde ale. And they said on their website that it was beer that's anywhere from a few months to a few years old. Traditionally, the Belgian Rueuzes are a blend of 1, 2, and 3-year-old barrels. So this one isn't quite as aged, but it's been in the bottle for a while. And Rueuze is, I would say, one of my favorite styles of beer. But I don't drink it that often because it's special and kind of expensive. But the some Belgian Rueuzes are great and sit on the shelf, like Lindemann's Cuvée Rene. This one is a little more expensive, but the brewery does a really good job with their sour barrel aged beers. I used to kind of revere them more highly than most other brewers, but there are a lot of great Belgian style sour beer brewers out there. And it's been a while since I've had this beer. Actually, I don't know if I've ever had this beer before, but I've had a lot of their other great sour beers: Oud Tart, Tart of Darkness, Sour on the Rye. Those are all really nice ones, but yeah, I don't believe I've ever had this. Maybe I've only had a taste of it at some point. So it's 6%, which is a little stronger than most Rueuzes. Most Rueuzes are about 5. And I did have Cantillon's Rueuze 2 weeks ago for the first time. That was just perfect and funky and awesome. This one probably won't quite be as amazing as that. I'm smelling some interesting winey character off the bat. Not crazy carbonated, but yeah, lots of nice tiny bubbles still in there. But looks rather pilsnery at this point. Some heads sticking around. Doesn't look like it's gonna get completely headless and look like juice too soon. Oh yeah, there's actually some nice lambic-like funk in there. Really oaky. Yeah, I don't think this is spontaneously fermented like lambic beers, but it has a lot of the nose that I get from true Rueuzes. Crab apple and slight, rotting sort of funkiness, but held in check. It doesn't smell like it's something that's completely horribly spoiled and smells like stomach acid or something like that. Winey, some like unripe stone fruits even maybe. Yeah, this smells very nice. Oh yeah, that is nice. This is, except for maybe like the Allagash Cool Ships, they're spontaneously fermented, blends of different barrel ages. This is like the closest to a lambic that I've had in America. Maybe Beechwood. They're from just south of Los Angeles. I had a Rueuze type ale there that was really good, but this one is pretty nice. It has a bit more of a malty heft to it, being 6%. And there's just a little bit of acetic acid, a little bit of lactic acid, a sort of milder blend of barrels maybe. It doesn't quite overwhelm with a mushroomy Brett funk. It has just a little bit of that, but a little bit of the fruity, overripe fruit, like a mixture of tart and also overripe, near rotting fruit sort of aroma from the Brettanomyces that I really like and is kind of a hallmark of this style. And it's this is very nice. Perhaps a bit maltier and more cidery than some of the better quality lambic beers. I kind of wish I had bought another bottle of this one because there was a deal from the distributor just this past year on this one, so I got this at a pretty good price. and it's also came pre-aged like a year and a half, and it's very very good now. And they say, yeah, all of our beers are crafted to be enjoyed fresh. However, this beer may pleasantly evolve over time when cellared properly. And then, yeah, this one seems like it could age a lot longer. And it was actually lower carbonation than a lot of other brewery wild beers I've had. A lot of them, they just won't stop foaming, or the cap will pop out. And this one I just threw in the freezer for a brief amount of time. It's usually, if you want a beer to avoid, popping open and foaming a bunch, you have to let it sit in the fridge for days or a week or something. So this one, I guess, was bottled with a very small amount of sugar left over to overcarbonate it. Yeah, it's got lots of oaky wine barrel, grapey things happening, and lots of tannins, but it's not really really tannic. I think it might be better at this age, or else it would be too tannic in combination with the sourness to be super pleasant. I'm getting a little bit of a burn now, but it's definitely not drying out my mouth completely yet. It probably will soon, but the tannins are only kind of hanging out in the middle of my tongue. Yeah, it's not quite as complex and wild as some of the great authentic Gueuzes, but Rueuze is a very, very good take on it. One of the best I've had that even compared itself to a Gueuze that's been made in America. And of course, the brewery has been doing this stuff for so long. You'd think they would be the ones to do it well, and there isn't like chunky sediment on the bottom or anything like that. You can pour it crystal clear, basically like this, and even though it's not a really high, really sparkling carbonation like some Gueuzes are, and that's why I think a lot of people like them, it's still pretty highly carbonated with lots of nice tiny natural bubbles. Yeah, this is a really really good beer. I'd give it at least a 4.25. Yeah, I keep drinking it and thinking I'm gonna get tired of it. I think it's just too much like apple cider vinegar. But yeah, it's got a lot of fastness to it. We'll see how it is when it warms up, because I'm not drinking it quite at 45 degrees yet, but I like to try these beers first really nice and cold when they're really refreshing, but it's warming up. Got lots of different kinds of fruits in here, mostly tart orchard fruits, especially a crab apple. If you ever had like a wild apple from someone's tree, or a tree in the forest, those little small ones that are kind of funky and really tart, it's got that going on. It's not super, I guess it's missing that like interesting washed rind funky cheesy note that I get from some sour beers, especially lambics. It just has a hint of barnyard and kind of not exactly mossy, but more mushroomy, earthy Brettanomyces, and it finishes with a nice mineral quality, and the tannins, are pretty mellow actually. Well, they definitely affect the flavor, and the barrel is still in there, giving a nice white grape juiciness. Yeah, this is a really good beer, even though it is usually, about $10 a bottle more than some of your, lambics that sit on the shelf that are actually real ones from Belgium. But it's, I don't know. It'd be interesting to compare this one with Cuvée Rene from Lindemans and see which one I would prefer more. I think they're sort of comparable. This one's maybe between Cuvée Rene and Boone's lambics that are a little stronger, actually. Like the regular lambic from Frank Boone is 7%. But this one might not be quite as funky. But it's got all the elements there. It's good. Bye bye.